Seahawks hosting the Texans. The Seahawks laying 3. Seahawks minus 175 on the money line. The Texans are plus 145, and your total is a low 41. I like the Seahawks here, minus 3. Just like I feel like we're not giving the Colts enough credit because of Danny Dimes, or maybe the Bucs enough credit because of the Bucs. I just feel like the market is still low and not believing in Sam Darnold, and I don't know how long or how many times I'm going to have to say that. But even last year, people just could not believe he was up for the MVP. This year, he has 11 touchdowns and 3 picks. And that loss to the Bucs a couple weeks ago, he throws a late pick, and people say, oh, that's Sam Darnold. Dude, he led the Seahawks to 35 points. The Texans are very good against the pass, but I just don't know if offensively Houston has enough to keep up with Seattle and Jackson Smith and Jigba and Kenneth Walker III. The Seahawks are the more balanced team, and I think that lends itself to opening up the passing game. So I think it's a short price on Seattle. I'm going to lay the 3.
Yeah, it just feels to me like the Seahawks are the more explosive team. And if they start scoring points at will, I'm not sure if the Texans can keep up. Because, like, you look at some of these games, you're like, oh, they scored 44 points last game against the Ravens. The Ravens are in the dumpster. They scored 26 against the Titans. The Titans are not good. We know this by now. But in these other games, like, you see the offensive line get absolutely bullied. Like, that has been a problem for the Texans for quite some time. Like, C.J. Stroud has been under a ton of pressure when he's not playing, bottom feeder teams. And the Seahawks are not a bottom feeder team. So it just feels to me like the Seahawks have the more explosive potential on the offense. So I don't know. It feels like the Texans usually score like 16 points in games against decent teams. Yeah. So especially at home in prime time, like, we haven't even touched on this. Like, the Seahawks have one of the best home field environments in all of the NFL, especially in prime time. Does feel like the Seahawks is the obvious play. But again, Jenks, sometimes it makes me feel a little nervous when both the plays feel very obvious in both of these games.
Yeah, that's sort of how I feel as well. Not to go back to the Bucs, I just can't believe we're seeing a 6.5. That just doesn't in the Bucs game. That's one thing I can't get over. But when you're talking about this game, this feels like I don't want to call a score, like a 21-17 win for the Seahawks. I'm just not a big believer in the Texans, and at some point they have to play better? Maybe? I just think the Seahawks are a really good team. I think they're one of the better 4-2 teams in the NFL. And the NFC West, when you think about the Niners, when you think about the Seahawks, when you think about the Rams, like, this is quietly a very, very competitive division. And Seattle could easily be 5-1 right now. So I'm just big on Seattle and what I've seen from Sam Darnold, and I think they're going to overwhelm the Texans late to sort of pull away here. I would maybe put a sprinkle on the under, but I don't feel as strong about that as I do a side, which is Seattle.
I like how we continue to not think about the Arizona Cardinals.
Nah.
You mentioned all the teams.
I know.
And we don't think about
I was
the Cardinals.
it's Arizona. Whatever. It's fine. It's
I didn't think about them at all.
I know.
It's fine. But, like, running joke on the show, because, like, we were talking about how, like, if you Google the Arizona Cardinals, if you Google Cardinals, it's like the St. Louis Cardinals. It's like, no, it's football season. I'm talking about the Arizona Cardinals. Oh, okay. Oh. But yes, they do not deserve your time or attention. But from a betting standpoint, like, I think I'm going to have way more plays in the first game as opposed to second game. Because, like, think about it. If you're somebody who crafts same game parlays like I do, you want a healthy total, 52.5, unless you love playing unders, which, okay, psycho. This Lions and Bucks game, I feel like it is made for same game parlays. Because I think, scoring's going to be, we're going to see a ton of scoring. It's indoors. And both of these teams have so many playmakers. I'm even looking at some of these anytime touchdown bets, like Mike Evans at even money. I feel like that's a solid one. If you think there's going to be a lot of touchdowns, like, those are the games you should be betting on. If you like betting on touchdown bets, if you like betting on overs when it comes to props.